Welcome to Falling into 40 with Bailey and Jessica.
Doo-doo-doo. Welcome back to Falling into 40 with Bailey and Jessica. We are so glad to have you here, and we are ready to start another episode. I know last week we kind of hit a heavy topic talking about human trafficking and just the unbelievable prevalence that we have here in the United States of that going on. So that was kind of heavy. So while we want to hit those kinds of topics, we thought that today we would take a lighter subject and just visit for a little bit. So, Miss Bailey, what are we talking about today?
Well, I was hoping maybe we would talk about what's coming up pretty soon, which is summer, or maybe what's coming up for us in these coming months, which again, it's going to be a fight to the finish of this school year, I think, but then hopefully the reward is a little bit of relaxation. I know with 2 kids yourself and 2 kids here, there's not a ton of relaxation involved because of summer activities, but I'm fighting to get to that finish line.
Same. I can't believe it's here. And we always all say that. Even if it's been a long year because of all the things.
Mm-hmm.
But it's gone by so fast. I cannot believe we are in April and that we just are right around the corner from summertime. And while I don't want to wish away time, I am so ready. I'm ready to sleep in. I'm ready for the kids to get to sleep in and projects around the house. Maybe nothing. Relaxation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
A little bit of everything. So Bailey, while we're talking about summer, I know that it looks a little bit different for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And while we may be looking forward to it, and as former educators, we looked forward to it, but that's not the case for everybody.
No.
Some people, lots of people, don't get a summer break. They may have vacation time, but not a summer break.
Right.
So what are your thoughts on that, on just the differences in summers for some people?
It's so interesting because I was an educator, so my kids have always kind of had me here in the summers to take care of their summer activities or just even just to be here with them. And then I grew up in the household where my mother was in education and she was always there with us in the summers too. And so for me, I don't have a lot of experience outside of that because I lived in it my whole life. And then now as an educator, it's the same thing in our household. But my husband does not get summers off, and he doesn't like the summer and kind of dreads it because we all are staying at home and he has to leave and go to work. And you can always see him dragging out like, oh, I don't want to go today. Because we're all here. The kids are usually in bed when he's leaving. And so for him, he kind of dreads summer coming because then our routine kind of starts to shut down or change a little bit. But his routine stays the same. He still has to be there at the same time and do the same things he does, and which makes it much more difficult for him to have motivation to do that. So, and he didn't grow up in the house of an educator either, so he doesn't really know that life either. So it's funny to see the differences there.
Well, I don't think I'm too far off the mark when I say that some people that are spouses to educators, when they have their summers off, there is a tad bit of resentment. And it may not start out that way, but by the end of the summer, it's like, okay, you've had your vacation. It's time to go back to work. But the thing is it's easy to to suddenly, and I'm saying that in a broad sense. It probably gets annoying, and I know it was that way in my house. But
Yeah.
what people forget is that there's really not enough downtime for educators. That is nothing,
No.
because you have to get so many hours in the summer of continuing education and
Mm-hmm.
planning with your groups. And I mean, it's just,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't really stop, because you're just always getting ready for the next thing. So
Mm-hmm.
everybody remember that when people say, educators have it easy. They get this great big long summer and it's paid. Well, it's actually just the same salary paid over 12 months.
Right.
If
Instead of 9.
if you chose that. Some people choose 9. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think people truly can understand that unless they've been in education.
Right.
One thing I always wonder about is, for those that are working that have kids that are too young to stay at home alone, the sudden cost of, or increased cost of, childcare, and how that impacts the family. I wonder if childcare has also, the cost of childcare, if it's increased with the inflation that we're experiencing right now.
I would assume that it has, mostly because cost of living has gone up so much. Those people have to offset those costs. And so yes, I would assume that childcare has gone up. And you're also dealing with, especially like people who have maybe childcare within their jobs over the summer. Sometimes that type of childcare changes. So they have to also find a different means, or maybe the childcare within their jobs doesn't take kids over a certain age, or they can't, take on kids that were school age kids during the school year. So it's like having to find a place you trust, plus have somebody to take care of your kids, or have somebody come to your home, which is also very difficult, or go to someone else's home. I do not have experience in that way, and I can't speak for people who do, but I can imagine how difficult that would be to have to figure that out over the summer.
That's what I think about too. I think, my goodness, I don't know. Everybody has a different standard when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to how old their child can be in order to be responsible enough to stay home alone all day. And,
Right.
you 8 hours or 9 hours is a long time. So
Yeah.
it just depends, because that's a lot of unmonitored time. But I'll tell you, I survived. And I remember there was a list on the table when I woke up, or on the kitchen counter. I knew what I had to do for the day before my mom got home. I
Yep.
also remember calling my mom at work constantly. This is landline. And guess what? It was over. Fighting with my brother.
Yep.
I would
was going to say, if
call, can I please speak with Peggy in just a moment? And then, hello, Mom, Steven is being so mean. He just, who knows? He just hit me and slammed the door and almost got my finger. I'm sure it was just ridiculous. And I didn't just call once.
Yep.
My brother called. And I even remember one time my mom called back, because she said, okay, I'm going to call back, make sure he answers. And so, because she was tired of it. So she calls back and I'm yelling, Steven, Mom said you better answer the phone. And he didn't answer the phone. And so here comes and he had friends over, and here comes the answering machine. And she says, Steven, you are grounded, and gives the whole spiel. His friends didn't leave. I remember that. They might have by the time she got home, but it was just my poor mom. So I understand it from that aspect. And
Mm-hmm.
also thinking, I'm ready for my mom to get home.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bored. and then your parents get home and they're tired. So
Mhm.
it's got to be hard. It's got to be
Yeah,
hard.
times were different and funny back then. I can remember the list on the envelope of a bill of things they needed you
Yeah.
to do. The old school version of text messaging or whatever. Like, this better be done when I
Yes.
get home or else.
Yes. And I
Yep.
remember I would watch Days of Our Lives, Young and the Restless, and I had a TV in my room and it was just amazing, but it didn't have a remote. I had to sit on the edge of my bed so that I could turn the dial.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I thought it was great. It was amazing. And so I remember doing that. And anyway, summers were always good, just a little bit different, especially now. Summers are definitely different times. And we didn't have cell phones and, internet access and, stuff like that. You had to walk down to your friend's house or ride your bike,
Yeah.
So
Let me ask you
anyway,
this. Do you
okay.
remember when we were younger, there being as many summer sporting activities or things to be involved in back then? Was your
No.
summer packed? See, mine wasn't either. And I did a lot of things and played a lot of things, but summers were pretty clear as far as, activities and things. And I don't feel like since my kids were little that there has been one summer where we have just gotten to have summer. I feel like it's just jam packed and being a mom to a golfer, it's golf tournaments and different things like that, summer camps, summer things like that. And I remember having some camps, but there weren't as many and things like that as I feel like there is now, because I was already kind of filling in the calendar with some things that are coming up in the summer. And I'm like, oh my gosh, so much of our summer is already taken with activities. And I don't really remember that being as big of a thing when we were younger. Do you? Did you have anything like that?
I didn't. My brother and I would go see my dad every summer,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a month or 6 weeks. And besides that, I played in golf tournaments, the same kind of golf tournaments that they have now, but it wasn't such a. Do they still have the AJGA?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yes.
so I played in
There's
those.
there's like four different organizations that they have tournaments through now. And since my daughter was 6, she's probably played in 7 to 8 tournaments a summer, depending on the summer, and sometimes
Well,
more.
I might have done. I remember doing all the ones around here, all the local ones, and especially
Yes.
when I could drive,
Yes.
we would carpool.
Mm-hmm.
That was when our parents were working, and so
Mm-hmm.
we would just get in a car and head to the tournament and play and come back. But it just wasn't so go 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 though. I don't remember it
Mm-hmm.
being like that, like it is now. And I've already got stuff that I plan on working on with both of my boys in order to make sure that they retain all the stuff that they learned this school year. So, there's always something, but I think it's
Yes.
important to remember if you're working, if you're not working, all moms are working, whether they're at a place of work or if they're at home, in some sense. But I hope that everybody can find some time to relax and do something for themselves, kind of like we've talked before on self-care. And I think
Right.
that as we are getting older, and in fact, it's very close, getting closer and closer.
Something else happens this summer for
What?
you.
Oh, I know. I'm going to be turning 40. not even okay. Whew, it is okay. I'm thankful. I don't mean it like that.
Yes.
But yeah, it's coming. It's coming for me. And I have been reading these articles about how we need to keep our minds going. And if I don't want to move into the assisted living next year, just kidding. I need to try and keep my brain working. And one of those ways is to learn something new, Bailey. It is proven that when we use our brains to learn something new, that we can keep our brain young. It keeps all of that stuff firing, and it's just good for us. And the older we get, the more we need to make sure we're doing that. So with that being said, dun, 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 I have decided, that reminds me of the song, I have decided. That's not the tune, to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. That's not it. Wrong tune. I have decided to learn how to play the guitar professionally for a band.
Oh, so you're starting a band.
Just kidding. Yeah. Falling into 40 band. You're going to be the soloist, lead singer.
No.
I don't know what I'm going to learn or how far I'll get, but it's something I'm going to be serious about. And I'm going to check back in with you throughout the summer and keep everybody updated as I learn a few things. I have my guitar out over here, and so I am ready to go. And I also want to learn Spanish. Like, I have all those skills in my brain from college Spanish. It's there. I want to find it again, and I want to get better at it.
Both of my kids, so we have 2 guitars behind me in this very room, and both of my kids have challenged each other, and they're actually have a bet going for the summer of who by the end of the summer can have the guitar down the summer too. Like we had this conversation.
We could have a band.
You and my kids could have a band. Yes. So they both want to learn. Ooh.
It feels really big. Yeah. Let's see.
What do you know? Do you know anything? Ooh.
No. Woo! Yeah, that's all I got. More to come very soon.
Yep.
Don't worry, though.
Stay tuned. That's going to turn into a best-selling song. Greatest hits coming soon.
I'm going to produce my own music. I'm going to write my lyrics. I mean, There
you go. Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting. What about you? What would you like to do this summer to challenge your aging brain?
So it's funny. You and I didn't really have this conversation, but we had the conversation with the kids about guitar. And so we started thinking about summer activities. And I am in the market for a really good camera because I want to take on some photography this summer. I really do. I've really kind of started getting a little itch to start photographing and just seeing what I can do with it because I love to be creative and I think that would be a good thing. So I actually have been searching for a good camera for it.
I think that would be super awesome to get into and to just for fun. Take your kids' pictures, take pictures of the places you visit. I really love beautiful pictures of when you're somewhere else and real real pictures, just
Right.
real,
Yes.
So yeah, I think that'll be fun. And taking pictures is something that you can do. That's a lifelong
Mm-hmm.
hobby. If you get into it and learn all the tricks and get you a good, some kind of a editor, so that you can
Yes.
play with your pictures and stuff. I think that's fun too.
I finish a season of my kids' activities and things like that. And yeah, we have our smartphone stuff, but I tend, especially when I'm watching or I'm really into whatever they're doing, that phone and everything tends to kind of stay away. And then we'll finish something and we'll be on our way home and I'll be like, I didn't take one picture. I didn't capture any of this. And yeah, I don't have those memories. So maybe just even having it for that, as well as I would love just to again take it on vacation and just be able to capture things when I want to capture it and play with it a little bit. So that's kind of been something for a couple of years now I've wanted to do, and I've kind of been looking in on, but never just took the jump and made the investment and done it. But I think the summer might be it for that. And then as well, we've brought up a little earlier things around the house. I have a list of projects that I truly need to get going on and to get working on, or my kids are going to be graduated and they're still not going to be done because we have a running list and I feel like that keeps getting longer and longer. But also just to find time just to spend some days by the pool, just relaxing and letting the kids be kids and having fun.
And while these are going to be just fun and things that we want to do, I did come across some reasons that you really should. The first one is that it gives you motivation. And sometimes in the summer, or when you don't have something going, when it's a little bit more of a relaxing time, you need motivation. You need to
Mm-hmm.
get up, get out of bed, and not watch TV, not even read all day. I mean, reading is great, but do something. While our projects around the house are definitely important and we do need to make dents in those, learning something new takes real effort on our
Yeah.
brain's part. And so, learning a new language, learning how to play an instrument, even tending to a garden or an herb
Mm-hmm.
garden can give people a sense of purpose, and it doing that gives you energy. So
Right.
it helps with your mental health and it helps beat boredom. Believe it or not, adults get bored.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't sit still, but you don't know exactly what you want to do or need to do, instead of constantly doing something around the house, folding lawn, all the things that we know we have to do,
Mm-hmm.
do something like this, like learn
Mm-hmm.
something new, or something that you really enjoy is a good brain
Mm-hmm.
break.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's important. And, something that I've kind of tried to make a thing for us during the summers is spending at least a few days a week where you get up and you get fully dressed as if you're going somewhere. Like you get yourself ready and get dressed and do go somewhere or do something, because it's so often that, especially in kind of a relaxed mode like that, you go through a couple of days in a row where you're like, all right, not that you've necessarily been in your pajamas, but you just haven't gotten up and just gotten fully dressed and like you're ready to go somewhere. And I think if I'm up and I get ready and dressed, I'll be motivated. Even if I don't leave the house, I'll be motivated to be up doing something because I'm ready for the day. And so just making sure at least a few days out of the week during the summer, you get up and you get ready and you comb your hair and you get dressed. I think that's kind of something that I like to try to do so that I'm motivated to be moving for sure. Because if I stay in my
Yes.
comfy stuff, even if it's stuff that I will wear around, I won't get anything done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. how about this? I really like this one, especially because I chose the guitar to learn to play the guitar. It can benefit others. Think about how your new hobby or skill can help others at work, at home, or in your community. So, my family is going to have to get ready to sit down and listen to me sing and play the guitar because I'm going to tell them that this is for their mental health and they need to enjoy it because that's why I did it. It's not just
You're
for
doing
me,
it
it's to share.
for them.
Yes.
You're
I
doing
want to
it
share
for
the
them.
experience.
Yes.
And no, they are not allowed to join the band. This is a one-man show here.
They have to pick something
Everybody
else
needs
to learn.
Yeah. Sit down, shut up, and listen. I've got some new songs, and hopefully those songs aren't "You better shut up and not talk back before I whip you." I don't know. It could get wild.
I
We'll
mean,
see.
I could see a YouTube channel with those kind of songs
Yeah.
being the next
Yes.
big thing.
Or it could be
And
more of
it
a
is
rage
beneficial.
song. You better sit down. You better shut up. That'll be the electric
Don't-
guitar.
Don't give me attitude.
I'm so sick of you. Woo. Yeah. Summertime also is a lot of family time in our home.
Yes.
And while I am thankful for it and I love my children, they are definitely at the fighting age. And, sometimes it's physical between the two boys. And so maybe there might be days that my hobby is learning how to referee. Maybe I'll put on a ref suit and have a whistle and start calling fouls. I don't know.
So we thought
goodness.
Jessica was going to start the guitar to be calming to her mental health when actually she's just learning the guitar to rage on her kids.
Yes. I've got this microphone. This could really turn into something. I might sit out in the driveway.
You can connect these to your amp and just put your guitar
there
case
is no
out
telling what's for change.
The sky's the limit. Yes.
It's this. I'm gonna advertise not for lemonade donations.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna say, come on by. And for free. This is for everybody to enjoy.
It benefits everyone.
Yeah. Come on. Join the circus.
I'll take pictures of you.
Yes, you can be the photographer. This is going to be great.
It is.
We might get
What a great
in.
summer.
It'll get out of hand.
We might.
There's no telling.
Photos are forever, right?
Yes. And if you don't know where to start, you could see what's trending right now, such as knitting, studying a new language, bread making, calligraphy, graphic design. You could even take a course online. Yeah, I don't really want to do that.
Well, you could finish your blanket.
I could finish my blanket, and I could make a beautiful strap out of yarn for my guitar.
Ooh.
In fact, I can make headbands. I'm going to wear headbands, long yarn headbands that I've crocheted while I sit outside and play my guitar.
This is getting creepy.
Yeah. Woo. Well, summer's weird. It's
you
good.
You mentioned bread making. I've been wanting to try to make bread, but the sourdough starter thing that I've been seeing all over the internet, it's a little intimidating to me.
Yes. And sourdough bread is my all-time favorite. I am a carbaholic, and That is the best bread. My mom did one of those startup things, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Now, actually, just this week, I bought one of those bags.
Mm-hmm.
It says sourdough bread. You just add like beer or seltzer water and put it in the
Yes.
oven. That's going to be the extent of my bread making. But I do like to cook and I like to bake. I don't do it enough. Like, I don't want to clean the
Yes.
kitchen either. That's the
Yeah.
worst part.
Well, summer's good in
And
that
it's
way because you can grill, and so you don't have to dirty your kitchen as much. We do a lot of grilling in the summer. Any
Yeah,
excuse.
I like to grill everything.
Mhm.
And of course, while you're doing all those things, you can always listen to this podcast. You can listen to all the podcasts, audiobooks. And you have to remember, if you're going to do something this summer, whatever you've chosen, that you can't be a perfectionist. You can't ruin your summer by deciding that, all joking aside, you're going to be a
Yeah.
professional by the end of the summer. Like, you should enjoy it, have fun with it so you don't ruin it. And so it does either continue to be a hobby, or maybe you decide that actually it's wasn't going to work out. You know, it wasn't
Right.
something that you had any interest in after you started. But just being open and receptive and knowing that what you're doing is fun and learning is good for your brain.
Yep. So you're telling me that it's okay if you're not a professional musician at the end of the summer.
Yes, but I do want to tell you that while it will be okay if I'm not a professional, I do believe that I'm going to be able to do something really wonderful with that guitar.
There you go.
I don't know. My goal is to be able to play a song,
That's a good start.
like
That's a good goal.
like a song, and not Jingle Bells.
Not Mary Had a Little Bit.
Yes.
Not Mary Had a
No.
Little Lamb.
I want
Okay.
I want to play a song, and I'm going to pick one, and maybe that's what I need to do first is pick my song.
Pick your song. Get the sheet music for it and pick it so you know. That's it.
Yes. Yeah.
Learn the chords.
Listen, I'm not a traditional learner, so we will see how this goes.
I'm interested.
I'm going to memorize it. Yes.
I'm invested.
And we'll see. And, you know, I think that you are going to have to use your skills. Come over here and get the camera.
Yeah.
Take some
I can't wait.
photographs. It's going to be awesome. We're going to document it.
Yes.
And I think we need to remember that if you are at home with your children and they are fighting, there is a great way to end that. And that is the caring shirt. We care, we share shirt. So you get in there together and you got to wear it for, I don't know, until you can stop fighting. I don't know. There's that. Those are the things I anticipate, because that's, as they get older, it's more and more of fighting, even though they're siblings and they're both boys and they're close in age. Fighting and conquering I'm bored every single second that there's not something planned.
Yes.
And so, you know, they're going to have to figure it out, because I can't hear that all day long. We also don't have plans every single day, and
Right.
we aren't on vacation every single day. So figure it out and make the most of it and enjoy your summer.
Yep. Well, I will just say that starting a few years ago with my daughter, I started thinking, oh man, we're going to have to start making the most of our summers. We only have this many left. oh man, we still have to start making the most of our summers. We only have this many left with her in the house full time. And so now we're at just a few more left. And so that's becoming a reality that she's going to be a junior next year. So we truly only have a few of these left. And so just also too, making sure like we take the time to enjoy our people and enjoy the kids at summer, because the reality is we get 18 summers with them before they're grown, and those years start to go by quickly. And so yeah, the reality of how many summers I have left is like, woo, she's only here a few more before she's grown and flown. And that's really kind of hard to process, but also puts it into perspective of we have to make the most of it. So
Yes. And it just comes up quickly.
yeah.
You know, my oldest son just went on his first trip away from home,
Mm-hmm.
and cell phones weren't allowed. I knew the adults that were there. He was with his school.
Mm-hmm.
I did not talk to my child. I kept thinking he's going to call, because they had the opportunity to call if they wanted, and they could use an adult's phone to call home.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept thinking, oh, my little sweet firstborn child, he's going to call me. And I'm sitting here and I would say, oh, I wonder if he's having fun. And my husband and youngest son would say, yes, he's having fun.
Yeah.
That child didn't call. And he came back and I was like, who are you? Are you a grown man?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't call your mom. And
Nope.
I mean, I was totally teasing him. And in my heart, I was proud that he went and he spread his wings and he had a great time. He grew up. I mean, it was an experience,
Right.
a little bit of growing up experience. And
Mm-hmm.
and while I'm so thankful for that, you know, my mom heart was, you know what I mean? You'd look at it and you think, oh my goodness, that was a big thing for somebody that's never left home and more of a
Yep.
reserved person. And it makes you realize that, yeah,
They're growing up.
it just goes, they're growing up and
Yep.
it's happening. And so, you know, if we can keep our sanity through the hard parts of parenting and the fighting,
Yep.
which we can, make the most of the summer and every day that we have together. That's really what it's about.
Yep.
I'm going to write a song about that.
Because please do. Please do. I can't wait. I
Get
can't
ready.
wait to hear
I
it.
mean,
It's
I'm
a
getting-
hit coming.
I'm going to start like having notes everywhere with possible lyrics. I'll be up all night. I'll sit straight up from dead sleep because I'll have had a thought, and then I'll be writing songs. That's how it's going to go.
And when you accept your first country music award, you can attribute it to that and all that hard work and falling into 40. And I mean, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah. Prepare yourselves. I mean, you'll be up there too, because behind me will be flashing these amazing pictures. Yeah. And then you'll be in one because there's a picture of you with your camera. You know what I'm saying? Of you shooting.
Yes.
And it's like behind the scenes. It's going to be great.
I mean,
it's going to be great.
It's coming, folks.
In fact, get ready. 4th of July Fest. I'm taking my guitar down to the park.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
What's that Katy Perry song? 'Cause baby, you're a fire. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Get ready.
Go.
Oh, man. Well, I think it's going to be great. It's right around the corner. Guys, if you don't have plans to do something fun, to get a new hobby, we challenge you. Get a new hobby.
Let's survive this school year, coast into the summer, and Get you a hobby.
Get you a hobby. Don't sweat the small stuff. You're almost
There's Lumi
there.
for that.
There's Lumi. You're almost there. Your kids are almost there. And fall into 40 because I'm about to.
Yes. Get you an
It's almost
extra
here.
large t-shirt for your kids. For the get along shirt.
Yes. Water balloons.
Water balloons. Yeah.
You know, all the things.
And 40 candles for Jessica.
It's here. Okay, folks. We hope that you've hung in there with us this far. We have another great episode coming next week. And we've already been talking about it and doing some research, and it's something that we all need to talk about, and another one of those subjects that's just crazy right now, and you'll definitely want to tune in for that one. And we hope that you know that you're loved, whether you're falling, skipping, hopping, already past 40, or not even close to 40. We hope that you're doing well and know that you're loved and you are not alone. So get ready for summer. The heat wave is almost here.
We are so thankful for our listeners. Keep falling with us. Join us next time. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for tuning in with us on today's episode of Falling into 40. You can find us on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts.